We having a good day? Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. God bless you all. Thanks for being here. Seems like I was just up here. Whew. I'll tell you what, being on this stage, sharing it with the individuals, the heroes that come across here, it's humbling. Well, I need to take off my shoes. I'm on holy ground. The stories that you guys share, the lives that you've lived, they wreck me. I don't know if you see me doing this up here, but I'm torn up because of the sacrifice and the love and the lives you've lived. And I don't think it's right for me to stand here and give you any kind of a message that says, hey, I got it all figured out. So I just want to be honest with you about some of my journey. So I thought I would do a little storytelling. Is that okay? Is that okay to I storytell? Okay, here's my storytell. Oh, there I am. That's an old picture. Whew, there's some things that are not true anymore. Okay, here's my story. You know, you can Photoshop that stuff, guys. Just kidding. Just having fun here, just having fun. All right, so sometimes as you're growing in life and you got a plan, right? You're at point A and you want to get to point B. Sometimes you got to go via point Z. You ever notice that? I'm here, I want to go here, and you get there, but you get there in a circuitous way. Sometimes that happens. Not always, but sometimes life happens. So there's an outside narrative about my life, and it goes a little simple like this. Hey, man, I'm great. I'm awesome, man. In fact, I had an amazing family growing up. They loved me, they cherished me. I went to Texas A&M. Any Aggies in the room? Whoop, thank you, love you guys. And graduated summa cum laude from Texas A&M, undergraduate in accounting, master's in finance. I left there, I had offers 3 years before I graduated to go work for companies. And I went and I ended up working for Coopers & Lybrand and then PricewaterhouseCoopers when they did the merger. And I was just rising through the ranks, man. I got every single bonus category possible there. And then I left there and did a startup. And we grew it from nothing to the 8th largest credit card processing company in the world. And I just sort of fell into this role, ended up running this company. I was this young kid, and then I left there and joined this company called CheapCaribbean.com. And they were $80 million, and they had a lot of problems, but you know what? I'm so great. I fixed it, and we grew to $650 million. We sold that sucker to Bain Capital. They threw money at me. Oh, it was awesome. And I left there, and I started my own private equity company. Hopefully it's not zooming close. I'm spitting all over the place. I apologize for you guys here. Apologize. Started my own private equity company, ran that for 3 years. My business partner was my father, my mentor, my hero, and did several turnarounds as a part of that effort. And then I got this call from Wayne, and I joined Rovia, and I got a chance to run that for 9 months, and then had the opportunity to be here, and it's incredible. So let me summarize this really quick. I have a great family. I have a successful career. I'm a confident leader, and I know what I'm doing. You like it? All right, so now I'm gonna bust that up for a second. That's the outside narrative. Here's the inside narrative. But first, I know you guys like pictures, so I'm gonna show you some pictures. Is that okay? All right. Oh, yeah, look at this perfect family I have. See that little fat boy on the right? Yeah, that was me. But I got better ones for you. Oh, look at this family. Oh, okay. This is what's interesting. My brother in the turquoise, yes, turquoise, he's wearing a Spuds McKenzie shirt. I don't know if you could see that, but that's legit. So is my mom's sweater there. That's a big baggy one. Oh, but this one's even better. I'm on the right there with the science lab. And the upwards, no, it doesn't say effed upwards, it just says upwards. I don't know what that means anymore. Okay, last picture here. That is not a perm. That is not a perm. So my brother wanted to be Eddie Head, apparently. You can see kind of the mullet. You see the mullet coming out? Yeah, he doesn't know I'm showing this, so y'all can tweet him later. And that's a rayon shirt with Z Cavaricci pants. I don't know if anyone else grew up in the 80s? God bless the 80s. Thank you, Vanilla Ice. You gave us so much. You gave us so much. Okay, I'm done having fun. Let's jump into this. Right, but the truth is, my family was broken. You see, we had this problem, and the problem was this. We stood for excellence. Any of you guys had families that stood for excellence? That's what we said. That was a nice word on the outside. And on the inside, it wasn't excellence, it was perfection. It's perfection. Everything had to be just right, just perfect. And it was never enough, ever. I would come home with a 95 on a test, and my dad would be like, what happened? You said you knew this. What did you miss? Like, and it was that level of scrutiny with every single thing in my life growing up. It was never good enough. If I told my dad, hey, I did this cool thing, he'd be like, okay, well, let's think about that. If you did it this way, it'd be a little bit better, right? Which is fine. He's just trying to help me improve, but like, it just wasn't enough. And so I had some pain in life. I had a lot of pain in life, but I didn't really know what to do with the pain, right? And so when we have pain and we don't know what to do with it, like there's this obstacle, right? There's this pain, and we're here, and we go towards it, and we got to get through it at some point. But we don't know how to get through it, we numb. So the perfection was crushing me. And the learning, well, nothing. I just resorted to numbing. And so at a very young age, before I could drive, I started drinking. And then some people said, hey, here's this cool thing here. Just all your problems go away. And they do, for a while. Everything works for a season. And then it stops working, right? So I didn't have a lot of learning. And I had this principle going on. I love this quote by Joe McHugh. We humans try to get the wrong method to produce the right results. And when it doesn't work, we do it harder. You ever do that? You ever notice that? Like, this thing isn't working? One of my pastor friends, he's like, what's the same theme? I'll come. I'm having a Shaq moment here. Like, forget that story. Don't worry about it. We humans try to get the wrong method to produce the right results. When it doesn't work, we do it harder, right? More of what doesn't satisfy doesn't satisfy. That was a quote by Matt Chandler I was trying to think of. More of what doesn't satisfy, right? Hey, this money, it didn't satisfy me, so I better go get more money, right? Oh, this job didn't work, so I'm going to do it harder. So it didn't work, and so I left there, and I went to PricewaterhouseCoopers. And at PricewaterhouseCoopers, outside I was very successful, but I had pain on the inside because, as it turns out, the success by the world standards wasn't success by my standards. In other words, it didn't fulfill. It didn't matter that there were 3 bonus categories and I maxed out every single one of them. It didn't matter because the bonus categories were based on pain. Pain. They give you a little extra money if you were willing to travel all the time. They give you a little extra money if you're willing to give up your nights and weekends. They give you a little extra money if your billable hours are more than the partners. Okay? But that didn't fulfill on the inside. And then my dad got sick. I shared that with you guys before. Some of you guys are new. So my father's the second longest living ALS patient in the world. And love my papa, my hero. I love my papa. I got sick in my world. Like, that was a stumbling block. I didn't know how to deal with that. I was a young guy, and my hero, this is the guy I'm going for. Now he's going downhill fast, and I got to help him do stuff, Like, hey, son, can you help me, brush my teeth? Okay. Like, can we go to the bathroom together and you can help me? Sure. You don't think you're going to do that as a young guy, But I go there, and that was a challenge. And the learning, I started having learnings all my life. Okay? Before I just numbed it, and I started having some learnings. And I learned that their success was not my success. I learned that I could outwork anyone. That was important. That's a skill. You got to learn how to do this stuff. I learned that can and should are very different things. I was a CPA because I could. Everyone else said, oh, this accounting and finance stuff's so hard. I'm like, it's not hard. I can do it. And I did it. And you know what? I'm glad I did it. But can and should are still very different things. And in summary, I'll say this. I was hurting in life at this stage, but I wasn't broken. I wasn't broken. Do you understand the difference between hurting and broken? Okay. All right. Next, JetPay. I left there. Remember, I'm all awesome. I go to this JetPay, and I started in biz dev, and it turns out I did so well there. They're like, oh, we're growing so fast. We need an underwriting department. Okay, so I built the underwriting department. Well, crap, people are calling us now. We better do customer service. Oh, okay, I built the customer service department. Then, oh, someone needs to manage these engineers. Okay, well, you manage it, right? And I started growing and growing at this place. But I had a lot of pain because there was something about this place. See all these words? Unjust, unfair, whiplash, broken promises, no approval, and no freedom to leave. That was the reality of my life. Because, yeah, it looked great on the outside, but on the inside, it sucked. I needed approval from one guy there, and that was the chairman and CEO of the company, and he wouldn't give it to me. In fact, he thought it was really fun to humiliate me as much as he possibly could. We would lose an account. He'd call the whole company together and circle up and says, we lost the ABC account. It was Josh's fault. And this is And it was not true. Like that was his account. Like I didn't do anything with it, but it was that kind of stuff just on repeat, a verbal, not physical. I could whoop his ass. Just kidding. But it didn't itch my scratch. Like that's the thing I needed so bad inside, or I thought I needed, and I didn't get it, and it was not fair. It was not right. And there was whiplash everywhere. We chased the silver bullet, like we're gonna go here, we're gonna go here, we're gonna go here. Ever been a part of a company like that that's just kind of all over the place? And it was miserable on the inside. And so, but I had some learning there. I learned that life isn't fair. Just flat out, it's not fair. You learn that as a kid because you learn the words. You learn it as an adult because you see it and experience it, and it becomes part of your life. I learned that my response to a situation is more important than what happened. It's my part, right? Carlos talked about that just a minute ago. Your part matters. Mentors come in all shapes and sizes. I so desperately wanted, and I was praying to God for a mentor. I wanted a person in my life that would, we meet every Tuesday morning and we have coffee and they share with me these pearls of wisdom. And I didn't get that. And I was so frustrated for years. And then I realized God gave me the most beautiful mentor. He showed me who I don't want to be. Right? You ever have that? You're like, and sometimes that mentor is a family member and someone really close, and you go, I'm glad that you gave me this blessing in my life, God, because I needed that. I needed to know what kind of a leader. I thought I was going to become, hey, I'm going to become this kind of a leader because I had this person I'm going to follow in their footsteps, but sometimes it's just the opposite, and that's a blessing too. I learned that there's no silver bullets in business. So many companies try to chase that thing, that deal, that whatever that's going to make all the difference for them. And you know what? It doesn't ever work. It doesn't ever work. Let me repeat myself. It does not ever work. You get up every day. You do the next right thing again and again and again. That's the only way it can work. And then something else happened when I was at JetPay. Something else very important happened. I became a rockhead. No, kidding. I got married. And man, it was awesome until the first day of our honeymoon. I don't know if you know this, but I was a great catch. I was awesome. I was young and like I bought a house when I was 25 and paid almost cash for the whole thing. I had to set a mortgage, but like I had done all this great stuff in my life, and I thought it was so wonderful. And I got married, and the mirror kind of held up, right? And I realized literally day one, we just started fighting like cats and dogs, and it put a crack in me. And then I was in this job that sucked. Can you say it on stage? Is that okay? It stunk. It sucked. No, it was terrible. And then my dad was dying, and something happened with all that. I just broke open. I broke open. I remember I was in pain before, but I broke open then. And maybe you've had that happen in your life where you had the pain, and then the more pain, you're like, God, I can't handle more, and more is coming. More is coming. Because maybe the answer isn't you need more pain. Maybe the answer is you need to be broken open. Maybe the answer is you need to surrender. Because we humans try to not surrender. So, at this stage in my life, something very important happened. I haven't given you any love. I'm sorry. Hey, guys. At this stage in my life, something very important happened. And what happened is that before it was all about, what was happening on the outside. And so the awareness on the inside wasn't there. And so I had to do some digging to figure out what was there. And because before, the school system's really good about this. Principles that govern nature, right? Gravity, water freezes at 32 degrees, like you learn about all this stuff. But what the school systems don't do, and many families don't do, is talk about the laws that govern human nature, right? We don't get those human interactions. We want to, we should, but we don't, right? Maybe y'all did. I didn't. Oh, there it is. See all the smiley people? Yeah. I didn't get that part. But I started to then because I was in pain, because I was broken open, because my heart got ripped open. Then there was an opportunity. And I would love to say I just sort of opened it up on my own, but I did not. It had to be broken on the outside. So then I went to this cheap Caribbean place, right? And man, it was awesome. I told you the story. 80 million to 650 million, just a few years, super young CEO. It was awesome. No, the truth is I got there, and I was supposed to help him manage all this money, and then I found out literally 2 weeks after I started. So on the day I was actually supposed to start, I came in and sat down with the founder and his wife and said, you got 60 days of cash. You're going out of business. They're like, no, we're making 10 million EBITDA this year. I'm like, no, you're not. We're going out of business. And he said, I'll do whatever it takes to save the company. I said, okay, well, whatever it takes is that you're not going to be in control of this company anymore because you wrecked the ship, and someone else isn't going to put some money in your company because you wrecked the ship, right? I'm sorry, that's how it goes. And he had the humility to say, whatever it takes. I love my people. I love what we're doing in the world, and he did it. And you know what? We raised money, and we're able to put the thing back on course. But you know what? Those years that it took to get the company back, because it's not a split-second decision, it was really, really hard. And the truth is, I was a 29-year-old CEO. I didn't know what I was doing. They don't teach you this in business school. You have hundreds of lives that depend upon the decisions you're making, and you don't know what you're doing. You got to figure it out. Sometimes you're on stage and the screen goes out and you don't know what you're supposed to do, and you got to just figure it out. Sometimes you're in a presentation, you're giving a presentation, and things go sideways and you don't know what to do. So you hang up the phone, right, Carlos? No. So like, life happens to all of us. And I just want you to understand, because there's those people you look at and you idolize and you go, yeah, they don't have that in their life. That's not true. We all have that. We're all a part of this human experiment, okay? So I learned that, I would Paine, right? The creditors are calling all the time, but I did something different. I just picked up the phone and talked to them. Like everyone else is skirting them. Like, oh, we can't talk to them. We owe money. We can't pay them. I'm like, yeah, okay. Hi. You owe me? Yeah, yes, I do. Yes, I do. And I'm sorry, and I can't pay you. But here's what I can do, right? I used to have a weekly call with Amex every Tuesday. Every Tuesday, I'd call Amex, and we'd walk them through, because I didn't want them to turn me off. And they should have turned me off. But they didn't. They left me on because I was honest and transparent and vulnerable with them. But the pain, I'll get through these. There were 60 days of cash in the bank. That was on day one, and it didn't stay that way. Okay. September 2008 happened. Yeah, that was great. Being a CEO of a travel company in September 2008, yeah, not great. Okay. But there was learning. My past prepared me for this. Your past and the pain that you've gone through and the experiences prepare you for this. For me, is I work great with founders. I learned that before, and it was great. I have a high tolerance for pain. I just do, sorry. I wasn't afraid to put in the hours, and I don't chase silver bullets. I was always envious of the founder because he was like this speedboat engine, right? Kind of like a Wayne, speedboat engine, just a powerful machine, and I wasn't. But what I learned is I'm a rudder, and they're not sexy, but you know what? They keep ships off the rocks. And I had some learning, too, associated with this. I learned that humanity attracts, not perfection. It's our humanity that attracts us. When I set myself up as this perfect figure, we're not relatable. We're not relatable because you think I got it all together, and I don't. Transparency, truth, humility are the benchmarks for any organization. They must be. I wanted to build a truly human organization out of this. Remember I talked about the call center yesterday? Like we're not going to answer the phone and treat people like a machine. We're going to pick it up the phone and answer like we're human, like them. We're going to solve their problems. I learned in the absence of information, people make up their own facts. In the absence of information, people make up their own facts. Write that down. It's true. So when you're not communicating with people, they're telling a story, and you won't like the story they're telling. I promise. Next, I had a bunch of learning here. The health of the group is more important than the health of the individual. This is a tricky one because we want to say, hey, we're one big family, we love everyone, they're inclusive, and yet the health of the group is more important than the health of the individual. So just like Carlos talked about just a few minutes ago, you can uninvite people to be a part of your family. And that could be the most loving thing you can do for them and your family. I also learned that honesty and kindness must be balanced. You can get too much honesty and be a jerk. You can have too much kindness and be soft soap. You have to combine the two, honesty and kindness. I learned that EQ is more important than IQ. There's so many people out there that are out there scraping the internet looking for all the smart people, right? And you bring them in and they culturally don't match. That's never happened here. I got jokes. EQ is more important than IQ. I learned that God created a balanced universe. And so we want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. We want to look at people and go, oh, here's this bad thing about them. And it's true. But here's this good thing about them. People that have high highs have low lows, okay? Some people just kind of stay right there in the middle. They're both okay, but don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. Don't. Founders are so misunderstood because they have this tremendous capability up here. And you want to say, yeah, but they're down here. Oh, well, Jim Carrey's antisocial. Yes, he is, because he can go way up here. So leave him the hell alone. He has to go down here and hide a little bit. It's okay. Without vision, people perish. It's a proverb. It's true. Without vision, people perish. I learned that there because I was trying to manage and I had to learn how to lead. And then I went to Providence, so I'll go quick here. So you think, okay, great, you grew this up, you sold this, and then you start your own private equity company, and you make Dad your 50-50 partner. I'm like, Dad, come on, let's do this. And I thought it'd be wonderful, and the reality was I had pain there too. What I thought I wanted wasn't what I wanted. I was so tired of always being in the hot seat, always having to have the answers, always trying to make it up and figure it out. I was like, I'm gonna let my money work for me. And you know what? It was not satisfying. I did not enjoy it at all. Dad was a great father. He wasn't a great business partner. Sorry, it wasn't. I think it created pain for me. But I had learning, right? I learned that money and deals, they don't do it for me. There's a reason I'm up here today, right? I learned that I have a higher purpose, and you have a higher purpose. So I learned a few things along the way. Let me just recap it like this. Lessons about life. I learned that pain, oh, that's cute, guys. Pain. They like to have fun back. You guys have jokes too. All right. I learned that pain is good. It creates a pathway for awareness, choice, and peace. Does it not? Oh, y'all get it now. The E. Haha. Funny guys. Without awareness, our lives are driven by habit amongst reactivity. But with awareness comes choice, and with choice, responsibility. Y'all have heard me say that before. Without awareness, our lives are driven by habit amongst reactivity. But with awareness comes choice, and with choice, responsibility. Pain is good at sort of punching you in the face and making you stop for long enough to actually engage in choice. Awareness opens up parts of your lives when you're broken open. So it's not bad. So when you're in the middle of a trial and you're asking God to make it stop, sometimes you're praying against His will. I learned that, see this one here, your enemy is your friend. People will come to you and try to rescue you. They'll try to bail you out of pain. They'll try to keep you from having pain. And you know what? That's great, that's wonderful. But that's not always the answer. Sometimes the pain's there for a reason. Yep. And not just this pain. I learned, I love this, transformation can occur when awareness and courage to action meet. Those two have to meet. What is your pain now? What trial are you in? What gold is being produced in your life as a result of pain? What is burning off right now that needs to burn off? That's a question for you to think about and to ponder. This company is about more than sales. It's about more than travel. It's about allowing you to be who you're designed to be. Yeah, that's the platform Wayne created. We did travel, and it's badass. Some people even get married because of us. I'm just saying. Next one, teleos matters. You guys know teleos? It's a Greek word. It's about trajectory. It's about what's the end state. So everything in your life has a trajectory. Every relationship in your life is going somewhere. Every practice in your life is going somewhere. And we dibble dabble and do these things, right? And yet we forget about the teleos. We forget that this little thing that we're doing in our lives, it's taking us somewhere. And if we'll look at it and we'll go all the way to the end, it'll help us course correct. Teleos matters. Change begins by choice, and it's 5 degrees at a time. It's 5 degrees at a time. We say, oh, I'm here, I want to be over here, right? So I need to go 25 degrees. No, you need to go 5 degrees. 5 degrees. That little thing in your life can create a totally different trajectory. What is that 5-degree change in your life that will allow you to, over time, become very different? I wanted to be different than my peers. I wanted to be a different kind of an individual. And so I get up earlier than most anyone I know. And I spend time in the Word every morning. And look, I'm not preaching, that's just what I do. But that was one of those things I said, that 5-degree difference, I needed that because I wanted to be this person over here. Not like everyone else, but I had to decide what is it that I wanted to do in my life. We talk about choice, and choice is such a great thing. Choice, 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 choice. There are things in your life you need to have no choice on. You need to take away choice in your life in some areas where you've decided, no, I'm going to do this. When I go to bed at midnight or 1 or 5 or whenever I go to bed, I wake up at 5:30 at the latest and I go work out. It's just a thing I do because I need to do that. What is it that you need to take choice out of in your life? I love this. It's direction, not desire, that determines destiny. It's direction, not desire, that determines destiny. You may want it, but if you're not heading that direction, ain't gonna happen. Potentially nothing is fun until you do it at all. This is a friend of mine who's a Buddhist monk. I love Vid. He's late for every meeting, but he's exactly where he needs to be. You know people in your life like that? Just consider this. Potentially nothing in life is fun until you're good at it. Maybe you need to practice. Maybe you need to work. So here's my question. Where do you need to take choice out of your life? Where do you need to make a 5-degree course correction that will actually change your life? Think about that, guys. Don't leave here. Don't go home. Don't go back to your day-to-day life without considering that. How matters. I'll go very fast here. Sometimes we get hung up on the what and the why, but we forget that how matters. The deepest regrets of my life are when I took how out, and I was so justified, I did the right thing. I did the right thing. You know what? I might have, but the way I did it was wrong. How matters. Where in your life are you so hung up on the what you did and the why that you forgot about the how? That's the deepest regret, the deepest source of regret in my life. And it's worth considering. How matters. There's a great book out there called How Matters, so you might want to pick that up too. It's a good one. Okay, lastly, judgment kills. It's the #1 relationship killer is judgment. You know this, right? I've said this before. I'm going to keep repeating it because it's worth repeating. Anytime we determine to know why a person's doing what they're doing, we enter into judgment. Why? So you may say, hey, Bob did this, and that's fine. That's not judgment. But when you say Bob did this because, and you attempt to know why, you're entering into judgment. That's the #1 killer of relationships. You guys are in the relationship business, right? So don't kill the relationship by determining to know, by pretending to know why someone does what they do. You can ask them, but don't determine. Okay, oh, there was a, yeah. I love this. The mark of a genius is being able to entertain and play with an idea without agreeing or disagreeing. We want to be so smart, and we want to say we have all the answers. Sometimes the wisest people go, I don't know, but I can play with both sides of my head, and I can learn. Right? You can accept. That's what allows acceptance to enter our lives. Where have you entered into judgment in your life? That's my question to you. Where? Sometimes you're standing in judgment over your own life. Sometimes you've entered as judge and juror over your own life. And until you resolve that, until you stop judging yourself, until you can love yourself the way that your God loves you and your friends love you and your family loves you, you've capped yourself. So don't stand in judgment over yourself. We want to say, okay, no, I won't judge other people, right? Because there's a God. And I don't want to. Oh, yeah, well, don't judge yourself either. Don't judge yourself. I'm so far over my time. Is this okay? Y'all mind? I'm just trying to like crack open this and show you what's on the inside. It's messy though, and it doesn't dance very well. Okay, you got to earn your platform. You know this, right? Carlos is up here because he earned that platform. Byron's up here because he earned that platform. These guys are up here because they worked it. You want your platform, well, you better be able to work. You better be able to outwork everyone else. You cannot lead where you're not willing to go. So stop trying. Stop telling your people to do things that you're not willing to do yourself. It's not going to work. It doesn't work. It's against human nature. They will look to you as the answer. So you better lead. I got a little delay here going on. Leadership versus management. Okay, you guys know this. There's a huge difference between leadership and management. Leadership is about change and transformation, right? Management, it's about the efficiency and the implementation. And we want to cast stones. We want to say, well, leadership is great, management, eh. The truth is, it's in the blending of the two that magic happens. Where do you need to lead? Where do you need to manage? The answer is there's both. There'll be places where you need to do both. Authenticity is key. I love this quote by Bill George. Great leadership is authentic leadership. Authenticity is a characteristic. It's who you are. That's so simple, and yet we say we want to be authentic, and yet we don't want to be ourselves. We want to put this image out there. You know how badly I want to put an image out there for you guys? You know how badly I want to present an image that says I've got it all put together? It takes work to rip it open and say, hey, but I'm human. I'm just like you. It takes work, and the pride in me doesn't want to do that. So you have to make a choice and says, I will kill pride. I will choose to walk in humility. I will choose to walk in authenticity. You've got to do that in your lives. It's a choice because it won't just happen. You don't want to do that. The beast inside doesn't want you to do that. Oh, listen to your mama. Okay, guys, Love, humility, transparency, they work. By the way, there's a book called Love Works by Joel Manby. I highly recommend it. We talk about leading with love. It's a great, great, great. Listen to your mama. She taught you this stuff when you were a kid. Conscious leaders drive fear out of organizations. That's what I have to do in this organization. There's plenty of fear. There's plenty of doubt. There's plenty of concern. My job is to kill it, to tenaciously seek it out and to kill that which is hurting us. And what holds us back is fear. Forget about the popularity contest. If you want to lead, guys, you have to forget about being popular. Success is not final. Failure is not fatal. It's courage to continue that counts. That's what we must do. That's what we must do. Darren Walker, brother, where are you? You reminded me of this the other day. I love you, brother. This is a prayer warrior and an encourager. I can't do what I do without you, okay? We need each other. Thank you for being an encouragement and a blessing in my life. In summary, I've always wanted to do this. I always wanted to say, Confucius say. So here it goes. Confucius say, by 3 methods we may learn wisdom. The first is by reflection, which is the noblest. The second, by imitation, which is the easiest. The third, by experience, which is the bitterest. I pray that in some way my journey today, my experience, some of my stories will help you choose imitation. And then lastly, when God wants to do something, he sends someone. Don't look elsewhere. Don't look to the person beside you. When God wants to do something, he sends someone. Where are you being sent? Where are you being sent? Where are you going today that makes a difference? Where, when you show up, will it change the trajectory of someone's life? If you show up, that's my question for you. I love you, WorldVentures. God bless you. Thank you.